today's session, I'd like to have a look at emotions and emotional processing, which is chapter 2 in our book. Now, we might like to think that we are rational beings, that we think everything through before we act, but actually experience as a therapist has taught me that we are in fact emotional beings. That we often are guided by our emotions and we often don't think through our behaviours. And for this reason, really, it's important to spend some time focusing on emotions and their relevance for therapy. When I see clients, many may be experiencing lots of different kinds of emotions, and they may be feeling overwhelmed by these emotions. Or, on the other hand, I've seen clients who come to therapy saying they don't feel anything. It's almost like a form of dissociation they're experiencing. They're feeling distanced from their bodies. And so I will often work with emotions as a therapist. In the case of people who can't feel anything, I will encourage individuals to look at their bodies and to really try and focus on any sensations, any physical sensations they might be feeling in their bodies. And then exploring how some of these physical sensations, for example, tingling, fingers or a palpitating heart, how some of these physical sensations might be linked to deeper, more hidden emotions. When working with clients for whom they are, feeling overwhelmed by emotions, often I will explore people's childhoods, because when we have very strong emotional reactions to people or situations in our daily lives, it's likely that these come from a much further or much deeper history. It's likely that these very deep-rooted, intense emotions come from our childhoods. And so for this reason, I will explore people's childhoods with them, with of course their permission, because it can be quite deep, intense work. So this won't be done straight away, but it will be done once I've built a strong therapeutic relationship with the client, and once I feel that they have enough grounding techniques to be able to explore their childhoods without being completely emotionally overwhelmed. And one technique I'd like you to draw your attention to, which features in the book, is that of working with the inner child. Now, I would argue we all have an inner child. This is part of ourselves that never really grows up. It's within ourselves, even though we might be adults now. And basically, the emotional thermometer of our inner child is very much based upon how and to what extent our emotional, psychological and physical needs were met as children. The less appropriately that these needs were met when we were children, it is more likely that the inner child now will be overwhelming us with strong emotions that come from not having certain needs met when we were children. So I will explore with clients who their caregivers were, their relationships with their caregivers, to what extent their physical, psychological, emotional needs were met. I will work with clients in order to be able to recognize that when something triggers very deep emotions with them, it may be that their inner child is triggered. So these emotions are coming from a much deeper past. So, part one basically is labeling that as my inner child. Then I will explore with the client kind of healthy adult mode.
So as an adult, what might you like to say to your inner child in relation to what's just happened? What might you like to do? Might you like to hold your inner child's hand or put your arms around them? Or, how might you like to comfort or soothe your inner child? Basically, what I'm trying to do is help the client develop a more healthy, accepting, kind, soothing relationship with their inner child, rather than just dismissing their inner child or becoming angry towards their inner child or rejecting that inner child. This can take many weeks to build up. Another aspect of working with the inner child might be to ask clients to write a letter to their younger self. A letter that is soothing in nature. So I'm encouraging the client to acknowledge the hurt of the past, the hurt that inner child, that younger self feels, but actually how might you like to now, as an adult, reassure, soothe, calm your younger self? And clients find this very cathartic, very soothing, very calming. So there are many ways really of working with emotions in therapy, and today I've introduced you to one particular way, that is working with the inner child.